Alright, so I have no idea if this is win or not, so let's see how we go. Win or loss, fuck knows. So, Yorick versus Brand. Okay, I'll move my camera. I think my camera's a little bit in the way.
Ours is a fate worse than death.
Okay, so, in my head, I would say Brand is probably going to start blue. So, I would personally start red this game. In terms of wards, I would probably be looking at warding his Raptors, not so much his blue side. Generally speaking, I don't like to play Invade Yorick like this. And the reason for that is because I think it sets up a bad... like a bad precedent if you get used to invades. I also guess that you're running Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest is a weird start. I probably wouldn't recommend it. It's not bad. I don't think there's anything bad about Dark Harvest. It's kind of like a better version of Comet for Jungle Yorick because you get access to the Domination tree. But that being said, I don't think there's anything wrong with running it. If you want to run it, you can, but Domination's... what's it called? Halo Blades is much better. You definitely need to start E on the red here. So I'll tell you flat out now, this jungle clear you're going to do is significantly slower unless you're going for an invade. Judging by the way you're pathing here though, it makes me think you're going for an invade. So let's just see what you do. But Raptor start with Q is much slower. Much slower. It's not even close. Like, it's so much slower. I reckon you're going to his blue. You can kind of predict it by the way you're moving. So you probably assumed he died, so that he's going to your red, which is a nice call. I actually like this call. Now, if it were me here, I would go his Gromp and I would back out. I wouldn't go his Wolves. And I think there's an important reason I wouldn't go his Wolves, and that's pretty much because if you go for his Wolves here, the first camp he sees, he's going to see that his Wolves are gone. He's going to know you invaded him, and then he's going to react to it. So you leave the Wolves open so that when he goes to his Wolves, he goes, oh good, it's still there. No one's taken him. And he wastes his time pathing up, and meanwhile you can secure your bot side jungle. So here, what I would ideally like to see is you to go red, skip your Krugs, and go straight to your bot side jungle. Now you should be getting this to around about half HP and leaving it. I don't want you staying for this whole thing. Okay, so you're going to go Krugs here. Now the Krugs, the reason the Krugs are a bad call is because if he goes for his Wolf, if he goes Wolves into blue, sees his blue's gone, there's a chance he runs straight to your jungle. He's actually doing that right now, right? So it's not necessarily he's going to meet you at your Krugs, right? You're not worried about that. What you're worried about is if he makes a play on your bot side jungle, it's very hard for you to secure it from your position right now. If you TP bot to your bot side jungle, I'm going to laugh my head off. Because what I would do right now is I would teleport to the bot side jungle. I love it. I love it so much. You actually played this so much like how I would have played it. It's hilarious. Your play stuff, the way you think is really similar to me. You're very close to me, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. You've got the mind of a jungle Yorick player that wants to play aggressive and efficient. You've actually played this really good so far. I love it. Do you normally run TP? I actually had someone recommend me TP in one of my last videos, and I actually really like the idea of it. In the past, I haven't been able to get away with it. You got to TP early like you did, otherwise you hold on to TP the entire game. But generally speaking, the way you played so far is you step behind their jungle, but you haven't ganked yet. So the last guy I did a VOD review for, he had a similar no gank early, and the problem with no gank early is you coin flip your lanes, right? So right now you're coin flipping your bot, mid, and top. So you're winning with the mid flip. Probably could have ganked bot. Probably would have gone bot before Krugs here. I think bot before Krugs is the right call. Or, theoretically, you either Krugs and then go bot. I don't think you need ghouls for this gank, personally. I wouldn't have used them. Yeah, you definitely didn't need ghouls for this gank. I would have W'd the Leona there. So, I would argue the best play right here is to go straight to his Raptors. I wouldn't have gone to his Krugs because their support might be here with him. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah, I would have gone to his Raptors first instead because I think it was a safer call. I don't think you're going to get punished for it, so it's absolutely fine. Just run, just back out on the spot. Go straight to your Raptors. Now, in terms of items, I want to see you get the health items. Don't go the AD items. Go the health items. Trust me. You got to trust me on this. Don't go the AD items. You'll regret it. I promise you. Go the health items first. It gives you the fail safe in case something goes wrong. It actually improves your jungle clear in a way that AD can't. It makes it so that your ghouls can take AoE camps much more efficiently without you being there. So ideally, in this scenario, if it were me, I would let your ghouls solo the entire raptor camp, having one ghoul take the whole thing, and I would go straight to the grubs, and I would take the grubs on their own. I wouldn't even stay for this. I wouldn't have smited that. I would have just let ghouls take this whole camp, because you've invested like another extra 7 seconds into this camp now, and you could have already been taking the grubs right now. Probably should have used the sweeping thing. So, in this scenario, actually, this is a very good point. You don't need to commit to this, right? I would have E'd the grubs and then ran around his jungle and had a look and see if he's nearby. Remember, you don't need to be there to take this. Your ghouls can take this on their own. I would have gone around here like this. Maybe got a few vision out. He might have had a vision plant there to use. Could pop this to make sure he can't use it later. But don't commit yourself to camps. One thing you got to get used to later on, once you get to the higher brackets, and you're in Emerald, so you're going to get there. You're already in pretty much the Diamond Elo brackets. You got to start letting your ghouls do the work. Stop doing it with Yorick. The best thing about your jungle is he can do what junglers do without the risk. You don't have to put yourself at risk here. So there's a scuttle spawning right now. You need that scuttle. You should have stopped. You should have stayed for that scuttle because that's a contested camp. This is a guaranteed camp. This will always be here for you. It doesn't matter if this is here or not because you can always take it. Whereas that scuttle is not always there. If he gets it, that's one camp he's getting that you're not. You always need to secure the neutrals first. Remember the priority. His camps, neutral camps, your camps. So me personally, I would have popped up here and I would have just gone to town on him. He's going to get away, isn't he? Why do I feel like he's getting away? Oh, okay. Good, thank God. Alright, so you've got your mid got ganked. Top's in an okay spot. I would imagine he's going for the dragon right now. So I'd be pinging back your bot. Get used to pinging your bot back. If you ever make a play in the top half, just ping your bot lane back. Because you can't be there to help them. And a lot of the times, they don't know that. And I'd be careful about taking waves like this as well. Sometimes your teammates just AFK off it. Yeah, always, if you ever make a play top half, it doesn't have to be at the start of the play. It could be at the end of the play. But once it goes off, ping your bot lane. Careful, watch out. Because they don't realise you're making a play top. They might think, oh good, my jungle's nearby. Alright, so, efficiency. Think efficiency here. What's the efficient play? Either Gromp, go the dragon. Do not commit yourself to Gromp. I want you to stop doing this. I want you to stop committing yourself to Gromp here. You could have been in position to catch this brand right now. You could have been ganking bot right now. You could have been doing anything. You could have been extremely useful, but you overcommitted yourself to Gromp, and now you're punished for it. Okay, you're getting away with murder this game. You're lucky you got winning lanes, which is good. Okay, so he's naturally gone to his top half jungle. I would have liked to see you go dragon here. I think going dragon here is an incredibly good play. I don't like this forced play in the top half that you're doing here. The only exception I could see is going raptors, Eing the red, then going the dragon afterwards. And stop smiting the raptors. You don't. This is like the least smiteable camp that you can have. Because the sooner you smite the raptors, the sooner you kill the big raptor, the harder it is to AoE the camp with ghouls. He's gonna jump this wall. I would have waited to use that wall for him to get close, but it doesn't matter. So you'd be looking at Eing the red. Leave the ghouls to kill the camps. Stop committing Yorick to him. I would have E'd this. I would have gone into this bush up here, and I would have recalled. I think going for the Krugs here is overkill. I don't think you needed to go for Krugs here. You have enough gold for your Black Cleaver, and I don't think you have enough time to do Cleaver plus all your camps. Recall, buy your items, and be in position to do Grubs or a Dragon. You're grossly overstaying here. I know that's the pot calling the kettle black because I'm absolutely garbage at recalling on time, but this is a bad recall. You're making a big misplay by not recalling.
This journey is long.
Especially if you consider the way this game's played out, I don't think you've actually set yourself up for anyone but you to carry this game yet. And now you're gonna get punished for this. I wonder if you're gonna die here because you haven't recalled. You have a massive item advantage over your team, over your opponents, but you haven't actually recalled yet to use that. I wonder if they're gonna collapse on you because that's a very big Kassadin. They've got a fed Samira. You've only got one winning lane right now, which is top. You're the only person that's actually ahead. If you take you out of the picture, your team's behind in kills. And you gave him a free dragon. See, that's a bad dragon to give up as well. You do not want to give up that dragon. That is free CDR every day of the week. Alright, are you going to push this up? I would argue you should actually have pushed this with Mundo. You should have stayed for this and pushed it. I think you literally would have got tier 1 tower right there. Right then and there. I still don't think going the Shojin first is best. And you need boots. Good. Good. I would have gone an extra Ruby Crystal there. I wouldn't have gone the CDR. You don't get any combat stats out of that CDR item. You ended up getting the top tower anyway.
We shall prevail. We have
You're very, very strong. Like, you're really, really strong. And this is the other problem I had with TP, is after the first use, how do you use it? I always struggle with this as well. It's just, I never find a way to be able to use it properly. Stop smiting the camps. The camps, you need to start leaving your ghouls to take the camps. See, even this is an overtake. 2 ghouls can solo that whole camp. You do not need to be there for this. That wall should have gone up behind you. I saw that coming a mile away there. You're very lucky because you're not getting punished for any of the mistakes. It's a good game played though. Like, it's not a bad game at all. You've actually played it really well early. Oh my god, you just got so much gold. Oh my god, you're so fed, dude. You're so fed. The good thing about the Yorick jungle games is it doesn't have to be a loss to review, right? You can review wins. Because I can judge you based off how you end a game. Because I know how ridiculous this champion is at ending games. And your win con options. And I can see, you should have gone Cleaver outright here. No. Cleaver any day of the week, it should have been. Wait, you're going... No, you should have gone Cleaver first. Straight out. The Cleaver movement speed you would have got would have grossly outweighed the boots too. Plus the extra combat stats, it would have been perfect. Definitely don't finish your boots 2 unless you're going Cleaver first. If you've gone Cleaver first, then you can finish boots 2. But in the scenario there where you can afford 2 legendary items, you should have completed your second legendary item. Me personally, in this scenario, I think it's too early to start maiden splitting. It's such a funny play. Honestly... There is a play here. See, here you could have dropped maiden if you wanted to. There is a maiden job opportunity here. But what you would have required is you drop maiden bot, then you rotate through mid. You go for his raptors. You play through the mid lane and you push down mid. Oh, you actually did it. But you need to make the play first. You see how you're going for the scuttle here? That's the misplay there. So you've made the play by pushing the maiden, but you haven't put Yorick on the map yet. You need to force. Start forcing. Start pushing something. I want you mid lane right now. Literally trying to kill this brand. That's it. You need them to react to you because you're not getting anything out of the bot lane push right now because it's a very early push. So it's a 71-second maiden cooldown. Absolutely fine. You're strong. Maiden cooldown this early into the game with this much CDR is perfectly fine to drop maiden like that. You're not going to have her too far away. 60 seconds is nothing. You probably should have gotten Rift Herald at some point. Maybe the play there was to drop maiden bot, push mid, go Herald. Possibly. Okay, so what's the problem here? I'll give you a second to I'll give you a second to answer the question here. What's a misplay out of what you just did? Have a think about it. I'll give you a few seconds to think. So the misplay here is why didn't you go Grob? Why didn't you go Gromp? You just raised 3 ghouls. You know 3 ghouls can solo the Gromp. So why not go Gromp and reset the camp timer earlier? There's no reason to not go Gromp first here. Even if you were going for the dragon, the timing that you would spend on getting Gromp versus now versus later, it's extra levels, it's extra experience and extra gold. You had no loss out of going for the Gromp first here. You should have eaten it, walked back, recalled, then gone and bought what you wanted to buy. You would have had an extra 100 gold. I wonder if it pays in here. You would have been able to afford an extra Ruby Crystal there if you had gone the Gromp. So if you die with 150 health left, you know it's a misplay. And you know, obviously, in this scenario, they're not going to have any priority over the objectives. Yeah, I would literally be looking to do the exact same thing you did before. I would pop your maiden straight away here. I would drop maiden bot, and I would look to play through mid. That's what I would personally do. And I think you're actually going to drop ghouls here. You are going to drop ghouls here. Okay, so the problem with the way you did that is it took too long. So what you should have done is the second maiden came available. Right here, you should have popped her. And then what you could have done is gone through their bot side jungle, like this. Got a bit of vision out down there. Got yourself to right here, and then drop maiden on the spot. It would have caused her to run straight through here and match the bot wave straight away. And you would have been able to drop maiden in the exact same way, but you would have kept ghouls afterwards, and you would have set up the side split. What you've done here is you drop 2 ghouls, and 2 ghouls aren't going to do anything, not with this state of the game. Not having the ghost is so weird. Like, if you run blue smite, which you did, it should not feel as bad. But not having ghost is such a weird idea. I suppose this actually works out because you ran the lucidity books plus the TP. You actually have a very low TP cooldown. Damage is just insane. That's it. Alright. Now, force. Straight through mid. I go 5 points into W before I max my Q out. But if it were me personally, I would go W max here. That's why we run Halo Blades. Right there is why we run Halo Blades. So hit the tower. Fuck is that? Okay, good. Get the Herald. Might as well get the Herald. It's there. What's the time? It's 18 minutes. Okay, so I'm thinking in my head here, I'm trying to think of what is the best way to play around the Baron here. If it were me personally, I would either Gromp, I'd go the Rift Herald. So even there, you committed too much to the Gromp. It should have been a single E and run. You do not need to commit auto attacks. You're going a little too far for it.
This has become skin.
Yep. I mean, it's very hard to lose this game from this position, I think. It's just, you're always way too far ahead. So, I would go Herald straight away. I wouldn't even bother chasing the brand. I would just go straight for the Herald. You gonna main and drop top? Well, I'm actually amazed they only just got objective bounties. Why do you hate the Herald? Why do you hate Herald? That Herald had so much time to get taken there, and not one person pinged it. I actually somewhat agree with this Lucian. To be honest, I actually somewhat agree with this Lucian. You're farming a lot. You're not actually playing for the win con here. Doesn't mean you're playing bad. It's just, I think the way you played this one out, I think it could have been a bit better. I would have dropped maiden bot there. I don't think forcing the Baron here is the right call. Because right now, all you're doing is flipping the Baron. Now, if you drop maiden top, you're going to drop ghouls. You're going to drop ghouls and get fresh ones. I think it gives them too much time to react. Oh, you didn't actually get fresh ghouls. So I would have dropped maiden bot personally, and I would have made a play around the Baron with your team instead. I wouldn't have done the TP there, because you could have saved that TP for after the Baron to then go bot with your maiden. But you guys kind of need to set yourself up. Don't think of having to do maiden as having to do Baron as you need the maiden for it. Because by the looks of it, the way you're playing this out, it makes me think you rely on maiden to take the Baron.
From the ground they come.
And that's just not the case. You don't need her. See, even this, what you're doing here, I would never do this. Look, you'll probably get the kill out of it. You'll probably get her, but I think this is grossly overkill. I don't think you needed to at all. I think you would have been much better off just splitting maiden in a side lane and then playing the macro game instead. I wouldn't have assumed the Cassim was going to push up. So it's a weird one. So what I would like to ideally see here is you drop maiden and you go dragon after this. I'm hoping you drop maiden, because if you drop maiden, that is A+. I would have dropped her top. You can also drop her mid. I think both work. Actually, I think mid's probably better. Mid's probably better. No, top was better because Samira just had that play. Yeah, you did. Oh, you did it. Good. You're doing everything right. Everything is done right. You definitely would have been better off with top, though. Definitely top. They probably will solo that, funnily enough. Yeah, I thought that would solo it. So from what I can see, your biggest issues is your game ending. Is that what you normally find? I should probably actually ask, before I get the VOD reviews in, part of the request should be, what do you think you need to work on? Because the only thing I can think of, from watching the early game here, the only thing I can think of that I can give advice on is, number one, your jungle clear needs to be a little bit better. It was just a bit inefficient the way you did it. Even if you did it the way you did, you probably should have started E on the Raptors, because it's much faster. Oh, actually, no, red start would have been better. You should have gone red into Raptors into invade. It would have been faster in the end anyway. Because you could have had your entire Raptor camp solo with two ghouls. And you would have got his entire topside jungle as well. It would have sped up your jungle clear enormously. But from what I can see, the only thing that you actually seems like you're lacking in is late game macro ending games. But that just comes down to practicing maiden split. I would wager, I would actually question whether or not you're using the TP well enough to take. Like, I would TP bot here. You've got TP, I would TP bot. Don't go top. I'm praying you don't go top. You should definitely just TP bot straight away. Like, get on the map. You need to stop waiting for Maiden to make a play before you get on the map. You need to get on the map. Because the longer you wait, the more you're giving them answers to Maiden to answer. The more chance you're giving them to answer the Maiden. I would TP bot straight away. Like, literally yesterday, I would be in bot lane. I would probably say this is probably the biggest mistake Yorick mains make. They drop Maiden, and then they don't make any plays. They just farm, and they let Maiden do the work. It's kind of like a half gig. You got to do the work, and you got to let Maiden push as well. Your Gauls will solo him. You don't have to go in. So even here, I would have raised Gauls, and I would have run mid. I wouldn't even attack this wave. I would just run straight past it. I mean, you're not going to get a better Yorick game than this. This is pretty much the best Yorick game you're going to get. 10 CS per minute, extremely high kill participation, just solo 1v9. You've got all the right items. Everything came out. Once you get this build, it's very easy to play. It's very easy to do whatever you want because you do everything overly well. You push quick, damage quick, you influence the map really quick. The Maiden's up. The downtime is so small as well. So even in this position, how do you end the game? What's the best play? The best play here, I can tell you, is dropping Maiden top, everyone goes bot. So with that in mind, that should be what you're playing towards here. You should be trying to do that. Cool. Even here, in this position, you could drop Maiden bot, go straight to mid. Don't take her with you here. You don't need to take her with you. There's no reason to keep this Maiden with you. You might as well spread your damage out. No, it's just, you basically suffocated them. Like, they had no way of playing the game. You just suffocated the hell out of them. So whenever you're in a game-ending scenario like this, just drop Maiden. It's just easier to just drop the Maiden.
I am the first and last of my
Oh, shit. Oh, got greedy. Played a bit too involved there. But you played the outside of the fight well there. I don't think that was a bad play at all. You got a bit overconfident and went in melee. I generally speaking don't go in melee. I don't bother. Once it gets to this late in the game, you just play the sides. Play off the E cooldown, play off the Qs. But you have so much CDR with your current build that, I mean, it's just, there's no way of winning this. Even with the scaling Cassidy, this is just insane. So, game ending here, I would drop Maiden bot, I would go Baron, and then I'd push up top and mid at the same time and meet your Maiden. That's pretty much, in my head, that's the way I would play this. I wouldn't leave the base without Maiden being dropped. Because I think you need to start the play ASAP here. So I would expect, I'd hope that you cast R on spawn, which you didn't, and I would have dropped her bot. You got to give me an answer for why you needed her at the Baron. Because if you didn't need her at the Baron, then you shouldn't have her with you right now.
this depravity will end.
What are you thinking of doing here? You're going to go bot. In this scenario, I would have just gone mid. I don't think you need to try up some fancy triple push not physically, but putting yourself in that position, I think you just run it straight down mid. There's nothing they can do to stop you. It's this exact position where I think Hullbreaker is much better than Deadman's. Because you've got Baron, you have double empowered minions. This is literally best case scenario for Hullbreaker. Okay. GG. In reality, all these people flip out so much about this, oh my god, Yorick's damage. Dude, if this was a 12-1-10 Yone, it would have been a pentakill. He would have done what you did to that guy to every single person at the same time. The fact that people blow up their minds about this is hilarious. But apart from that, apart from the first jungle clear, apart from the way you did this camp, honestly, the way you play, the way you think is actually really, really good. You've clearly played Yorick jungle a lot. Like a lot. Or you have a very good understanding of him. The only things I can criticize is stop trying to kill camps with Yorick and let your ghouls do it. Prioritize Herald because it is literally one of the best objectives early. If you're going to go for the invade, I highly recommend you do my red into Raptors clear. I haven't actually posted a video of it yet, so I don't think people actually know about it. But there's a red and Raptors clear where you can have your 2 ghouls solo the whole camp. You need to do that because that would have given you enough time to take this camp plus the Grom. More than enough time. Like you would have the entire, you would have been so far ahead of it. Apart from that, I think this was a pretty solid game. But like I said, wins are hard to VOD review. The only thing I can really do is criticize how you end the game. You did good maiden drops. There were a few of them where I probably would have summoned maiden earlier or dropped her earlier. I would also say potentially don't go hollowed. Try out instead, if you feel like trying out a new build, Black Cleaver first into Titanic Hydra. I highly recommend giving it a shot. It is kind of insanely hilarious to run, especially if you run Halo Blades. But since you ran Dark Harvest here, it's a bit different. It's a different playstyle. But apart from that, it was actually a really solid game. It was a really solid game. I still question the TP. I think you used it 3 times. 1 was to get to mid lane, which is what I would have done. 2 was to get to bot. And then 3 was to get to bot again. I think you used it 3 times the whole game. To me, that doesn't really seem worth it. But if it's there as a failsafe to maybe end off a side split, then I could probably see some kind of interest in it. I think there's too much loss potential if you run it. But anyway, show me a loss next time and we can go round 2, see how you go with that one there. But get that jungle clear better and let your ghouls solo the freaking camps.